to stress is that the mood of delegations is super constructive. There are drafts for most of the topics under negotiations, and so it's a very positive mood, very constructive mode of work. Delegates are eager to get to the texts and start to organizing what would be a final outcome for all different texts. COP30 has a huge agenda on the negotiations, mandated negotiations that are previous COPs that ask for work to be concluded here. So that's why we call mandated negotiations, because they come from previous years. For example, the global goal on adaptations asked the COP to have the adoption of up to 100 indicators in 2025. So this is a work that has been happening in the last few years with expert advisors, expert groups, and now we are in the conclusion of this very important technical work, the time where delegations have these 2 weeks to conclude the selection of indicators and provide this for the process. There are 145 agenda items in 5 different entities. The subsidiary body for implementation, the SBI, the SUBSTA, which is the technical body for technical and scientific advice, the COP itself, the parties, the Conference of the Parties for the Convention on Climate Change, the Conference of the Parties for the Kyoto Protocol, and the Conference of the Parties for the Paris Agreement. So these 5 entities, they form the agenda, which is a huge agenda. Some of these items are more technical, are reports and work that has to be forward and organized for the future, and some of them are substantive, with substantive mandate to have agreements and decisions at COP30, and so all delegations are working to have this number of decisions with substantive mandates. I will mention the main ones, and that would be the decisions on the adaptation cluster. It's the indicators for adaptation. It's the modalities for the Baku adaptation roadmap, also called BAR. That's a new avenue to discuss adaptation matters in the future. So we hope we have a good decision there, and also guidance around national adaptation plans. So adaptation is one of the work stream that is already underway, and one of the main outcomes for Belem. The second one would be the Just Transition Work Program. Delegations have to agree here how this work program will be organized. It's a decision that was for COP29. We didn't have agreement there, but we are advancing into have this work program structured here in Belem. The third one would be the dialogue on how to implement the GST. Is a work that we are also picking up from last year, where we had very constructive progress in the Bonn session. That is the middle of the year where these negotiations start. And we are also having this, highlighting this topic, how to implement the first global stocktake of the Paris Agreement. Other than that, we have very important work on technology, On finance, finance is the discussion around the how finance flows must be aligned, must be consistent with the developments of low carbon economies, how this discussion can be made under our UNFCCC process. And another highlight that I would like to bring is the Gender Action Plan. Also, the mitigation work program is where parties discuss their experiences on mitigation efforts, and we also aim to get a decision on the mitigation work program here in Belem. So. There are many mandates. They encompass the whole framework of the climate multilateral process: mitigation, adaptation, means of implementation, finance, technology, and capacity building. So there is a lot going on, and this translates into the number of people going in and out of the rooms. And what we are doing is to provide them the necessary spaces, the negotiation time that each topic deserves in order to get to these outcomes in the end. Thank you.
Thank you, Liliam. Túlio.
Thank you, Ambassador. So we launched presidency consultations as part of the compromise for the agenda. Am I speaking too close to the mic? And the presidency consultations are focused on issues related to 4 agenda item proposals. 9.1, which is the legal obligation of developed countries to provide finance to developing countries, unilateral trade measures, the nationally determined contributions synthesis report. Am I okay? Yeah. Is it working now? Wonderful. That's better. So going back, so we launched a presidency consultations yesterday as part of the compromise for the agenda, in which we focused our discussions on issues related to 4 agenda items proposals. The first one, Article 9.1 of the Paris Agreement, which relates to the obligation of developed countries to provide finance to developing countries. The second, unilateral trade measures. The third, the synthesis report of nationally determined contributions. And the fourth, biannual transparency reports. We had a very inspiring dynamic. The first session was supposed to last 2 hours. It lasted for 4 whole hours. The second session, 2 hours again, is lasted 3 hours, only because we had to give the space of the room. And the reason why we spent 7 hours in total was because we were able to have a dynamic in which parties were building on each other, and a dynamic that we hadn't seen for a long time. Today we will resume the presidency consultations at 3 p.m. This is supposed to last 1 hour, and this will be followed by a stocktake plenary at 5 p.m. And most importantly, what we saw was that the spirit of the mutirão was not only raised a number of times by all delegations, but actually they all acted in that spirit. We had also this common understanding that we are finally transitioned from negotiation to implementation, and there are some common threads emerging, especially around the need for us to significantly enhance cooperation and implementation. So this is the red lines, but the headlines, but we are more than happy to answer any additional questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador André. Thank you, Toni. Thank you, Ambassador Chagas and Túlio for those remarks. Now we will open up for questions. As a reminder, please, we kindly ask that only members of the press pose questions. So please ensure your media badge